This is a 1958 Zenith clock radio. There's a Sam's on it. And a little bit of an interesting story on this radio that's going to make for a little bit of an interesting video. There's an old 1920s Spanish style, beautiful two-story Spanish style house down the street, down the road a ways. And I watched it sell, and then I watched them fence it for demolition, and I watched them starting to demolish it. And there were a couple fixtures on the outside, old lighting fixtures that I really wanted to save. So I went down there on a Saturday, and the guys were working down there, and I flagged one of them down, and I said, hey, there's a couple things I'd like off this house before you just dozer it. You know, can I give you some cash to pull them off, or can I pull them off and give you some cash? And the guy basically said, you know, you take them off and give me some cash. And so I started looking around, and they were, at the time, they were tearing apart and scrapping out the garage. And the garage had like a ton of equipment left behind. And one room in the garage was a photo developing lab. The other room in the garage was like a vehicle maintenance with bulk oil containers. There's all kinds of woodworking equipment, and the house was so sad to see this thing demolished, because it was such a beautiful old 1920 custom home with all of these really awesome built-in mahogany cabinets. And you'll see that later in the video. I did shoot as much video as I could with my phone while I was down there. And so I called my friend Rob, who's into vintage, or has gotten into photo developing of old film. And I told him, you know, get your ass down here right away, man. There's stuff down here you're going to want. He came right down, and then I called my buddy who's into woodworking, and I said, hey, bring some cash in your truck. There's a ton of stuff down here. He came down, so we did the best we could, but I was real tight on time, and I did what I could. And I found this Zenith radio face down. You can see they cut the cord off of it here. I found this Zenith radio face down on the floor in the phono lab. They'd already dozer ripped the roof off the garage. And there's a lot of other stuff in there, like this old hole punch. I got a bunch of these weird glass beakers, and I don't know, I got a lot of weird stuff. Anyway, dust. And the other reason why I'm kind of sniffling is this. The neighbor kids had broken the door open on the garage and had a 55-gallon barrel in there and were burning stuff like campfire style inside the garage. So everything that came out of this garage smells like a burnt house. You know, they were burning like stuff that was in the garage in the barrel. That's why this thing is coated with soot and is just as filthy as could be. Anyway, 1958. You know what's interesting is these AM FM Zenith radios. Zenith used pretty much this exact circuit and tube lineup for, I would say the late 40s to when they got rid of tubes. They used the same tube complement in all of these sets, which includes a 19T8 selenium rectifier. So anyway, here's the capacitive coupled FM antenna. So we might want to splice on right here. It's unfortunate they cut this, but yeah, this thing is bad. And it stinks too, and it's that kind of thing that makes you choke and sniffle and cough. So anyway, I'd like to get this to work in this video. the history of that house is a bit of a mystery, especially when you see at the end of the video what was in the garage. It's very odd for somebody to have 100 gallons of bulk oil in the garage. Alright, we're just gonna suicide cord this thing. It's who cares if we let a little smoke out? It's had so much extra smoke added by the fires in the garage that it's got some to spare. So here we go. .5 watts, that's probably the clock. Huh. The hell's the power button here? Is it on the clock? Oh, there we go. It is on the clock. I would expect this to do something. This is Zenith. Sometimes these get silver mica disease in the newer style IF cans.
Contarás cada voto y las más de 17,000.
You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story, it was different with me. God's plan.
Well, I think we can say it needs a speaker.
I hope sometimes
don't have to accept everything. If you've got some stars or free agency in these years where it's keeping it exciting.
QUIP.com/your. When searching for kitchen remodeling, search the kitchen store.
It's a Zenith. It needs the controls cleaned and a speaker. That's it. It's a Zenith. What do you expect? And what's great is that that staticky thing could be silver mica. Could be. We have to let it run for a while. It looks like it's had a lot of the... Get up here and get a... Probably not silver mica when it's doing it with the volume turned down, but anyway, there's a bumble bomb. Oh, look, it's somebody already bridged. Somebody already bridged a selenium with a silicon. And by the way, this is a...
This weekend, number 6 at Microsoft Theater, July 28th.
Okay. This was an approved, recommended method of repairing these, because apparently these seleniums never short or leak. It's very rare. So it was actually just recommended or standard practice just to parallel a silicon diode across the selenium. This bumble bomb should go .047, that should go. I bet this is mostly all disc capacitors. Is that the... Did I kill it? Is that the...
And with more than 50 sizing options.
Oye, Maffer, en papel, ¿cuántos goles le debería de meter España a Rusia?
Yeah, that static was just a dirty 19T8. That's a 19T8. What do you call that tube? That's the diodes and the audio preamp. God, it stinks. Smells like a campfire. And as it gets hot, it's starting to stink even more. Telecron clock with extra smoke. Is that I'm blanking out on the name, that semi-radioactive stuff that glows in the dark, that green glow. I forget what they call that. Anyway, look at the quality here. It's solid metal bottom on this thing. I'd like to pop that off and take a look and see what repairs have been done in here. Okay, yes, it's sitting up on its side. Most all disc capacitors, it looks like we have a something there. The 4.7 meg across it. I don't know, that could be the... What is that? What's the purpose of that? Huh. Disc capacitor does not look like the filter capacitor has been tampered with, which is right there, and the filter capacitors do go bad on. They have a high failure rate on these Zenith radios. Man, that smoke just got into everything. Look at it. Look at the front here. I mean, it's just horrible. You know, I've resurrected a lot of stuff out of abandoned mine sites out in the desert, but I've never resurrected a radio out of a burnt garage, out of a house that burned down, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Anyway, yeah, goals and achievements, I guess. Anyway, this speaker does not, it does not seem bad. I mean, when I push on it, it doesn't seem like it's rubbing. Anyway, I want to take this whole thing and give it a bath. And it's unfortunate that they broke this when they dropped it, but this is metal. This is metal, so this could handle it. The only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to ruin this I don't want to ruin this sticker. Or let me say this, I would prefer not to ruin that sticker, but I would also prefer not to smell this thing the way it is, because it's harsh.
Distinct sounds are an indication your system needs checked, or the next sound could be... The Pep Boys Pros will inspect your entire brake system for free. Now, how does that sound? Plus, if you need new brakes, save up to $60 off Wagner Premium Brake Services now through July 1st. Includes free tire rotation. Only at Pep Boys. Offer after mail-in rebates. See restrictions at pepboys.com.
This weather report is brought to you by Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Downtown LA staying in the 70s today through the weekend. High 60s near the beaches, but sunnier and around the 80s.
Well, that's an...
It is changing the way you drive forever. It's time to enjoy the ride.
That's an interesting failure. I believe we can fix that. Yes, we can fix that. Okay, as you can see, the failure is that the outside of the cone has broken away. So I have, this is actual speaker reconing glue, so I'm going to just glue this back down. Okay, cleaning the Zenith radio in the 1912 model year clawfoot bathtub. This should score me some points. I told you this was not Mr. Shango's lab. Don't expect that. This spray magic, this is that pink stuff that the weird woman comes door to door and pours used motor oil on your carpet and proceeds to clean it up with this stuff. I will say that this is the most powerful, potent spray cleaner I've ever used. I mean, this stuff is just... It's almost like it takes a layer of plastic off. But anyway, let me scrub this thing. I think the plastic's in pretty poor shape, and unfortunately it's cracked here. But maybe I can at least get the soot off of it. So, the thing about comedy is the exaggeration. Usually with comedy there has to be some exaggeration. And keep in mind, this is a comedy channel. Comedy, Shade Tree, Repair, Restoration, Resurrection channel. Okay. Squeaky clean, but in poor condition. So, that's unfortunate. But, like I say, the bulldozer was about to run over it, and I saved it. I ran out and grabbed it from the junk pile right before the dozer got a hold of it. So, yeah, I guess we have to look at the big picture. It's weird that they only put one speaker in this thing. Alright, case has been cleaned. Insides have been cleaned, knobs have been cleaned, clock that doesn't work has been cleaned. Not going to fix the clock. This radio's not in very good shape. The case is cracked here. A chunk's missing out of the case here. This is just kind of a memento from a really cool house that was torn down to make way for overpopulation. So, power cord, instead of replacing it, I just put a new one in there, heat shrunk it, soldered it and heat shrank it, heat shrunk, shrank, whatever. Speaker's been glued back together. Let's see how it plays. Alright, here we go. If the case was in good condition, I'd go further with it, but it's...
사우나에서 시원하게 씻고 난 현대 사우나로 바꿨다고.
현대인의 휴식처 유가와 아드모 현대 사우나 213-487-0008.
미래를 산다는 것은 과거를 반복해서 사는 is coming out of my home state of Washington.
More coming up right after traffic in 2 minutes. It's 11:35. Your traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 5s. Here's Tom Tran.
I've been telling you about these delays along the 15 through the Cajon Pass. CHP is running another round of traffic breaks. They are helping out as some electrical work.
Where's my oldie station?
서 쿠션으로 스푼 기석은
Cruise and Oldies are here on LA Oldies. Chaser.
FM. That's right. We are living in a material world, and I am a material girl.
Develop their character.
My friends think you're vicious.
Unfortunately, I just can't save it. Look at. There's the original drawing from the person that put it in right there, 1921. January 13th, 1921. Wow. And like I showed in the past video, this is a bed that rolls out, and this bed rolls up under the landing for the staircase. It's all real wood. Holy crap. Absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately, it's going to go to the dump. So the rolling bed goes under the stair landing. Wow.
Anything good upstairs?
No. It's just amazing. It's like all original. You know, they haven't re-drywalled it or anything. Look at how good a shape the walls are in.
Yeah.
No cracks.
Looks like somebody took good care of it. Yep, so it goes. This place will be gone.
Yep.
Bank of America. Fool's probably dead.
Yeah, they must have pulled the flooring all up because there was asbestos hazmat.
Hey Dan, wanna light one up?
Oh, are there actually Marlboros in there?
No, there was something in there.
Ooh.
Drum up your TV.
Sad situation, man. It's a neat house. I'd like to have it. Well, not anymore. It's a big house. Yeah, dude, I'm glad you answered the phone, man. That stuff would have...
Oh yeah, would have been long gone. Put that on my photo forum. Save the developer's wrecking ball. Dude, this shit was literally down to the wire, man.
I know.
There they go. If anything, I got a free 1L6 out of it.
I wonder if it's any good.
Yeah, I'll test it.
Huh? The light? Not yet. I'm going to do it now. So that's it. All gone. So they're taking the wood. They keep everything they can. It's pretty cool. The lath boards. We were able to save these, all three of them, and two of them were filled. Let's see. So we'll give a we'll give a little demonstration here on how these work. So basically, one full turn is 1 quart. So you turn it back to where it stops, and then you turn it forward. You can see it there. So this is 1 full quart. So that should be about a half a quart right there. And then when you take this out, it snaps back in so you don't leak any. Yeah, these are 30 gallons, 25 gallons, let's see. 30 gallons. This is old oil. Oil does have an expiration date, but this is good oil. It's got the high zinc sulfate content for the non-roller lifter cam cars. So probably use it in moderation, maybe mix it half and half with new oil. Yeah, apparently, you know, motor oils, all oils are hydroscopic, meaning they absorb water, but can't just let this go to the dump. Good oil with zinc. Check this out. See the new oil? See how the new oil is sitting on top of the old oil?
Yeah.
The old oil, it's like gas and water, man. They don't mix.
That oil is brown.
Yeah. It's got a lot of zinc in it.